the reality for everybody is you can't change that person's opinion of
Mm-mm.
you.
You can't. No.
You can't, I hear people all the time, they're trying to explain themselves, like, they're telling you a story
Yes.
about a situation, and they're trying to get you on their side. It's almost like a debate,
Hmm.
and they're trying to bring up
Yes.
point after point after point as to why I'm right or wrong, and the other.
Yeah.
And the reality is, you could be right, you could be wrong, it doesn't matter. It
So
really
true.
doesn't.
No,
Are you comfortable in that situation? If the answer is no, remove yourself from that situation, and
that's
that's the end of
right.
it. Leave that person,
Yes.
whatever impression they have, leave that person with them, because the first thing is you have no idea what the real impression is. They're showing
That
you
is
the
true.
mask,
That's right.
right?
They've got their mask on.
They're
Exactly. Such a
performing for
great
you.
point. Yes.
You have no
Hmm.
idea what their real feeling is behind that.
Mm-mm.
So you're
No.
trying to change their mask mind, and the mask is not who they truly are. So that's
Yes.
why it's a absolutely pointless exercise.
Welcome to the new chapter of the Her Resources podcast. I'm your host, Linda Misegadis, and I'm so excited to be stepping into this next season with you solo. This podcast has always been about amplifying women's voices, exploring the challenges we face in HR, leadership, and life, and sharing the tools and inspiration we need to thrive. And now, I'm taking that mission even deeper. You'll hear real conversations with bold and authentic women, as well as reflections from me on everything from pay equity and burnout to confidence, leadership, and the messy, beautiful journey of growth. This is more than just a podcast, it's a community, a space for us to learn, lead, and lift each other up. Welcome to this new beginning. This is the Her Resources Podcast. Let's get started. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Her Resources Podcast, the podcast where we explore leadership, growth, and what it really means to show up as your full self at work and in life. Today's conversation is a powerful one. We're talking about taking off the mask. The masks we wear to survive, to fit in, to succeed, and what happens when we finally allow ourselves to be seen as we truly are. I'm joined by Dr. Natalie Hines, my friend, who brings both professional insight and deep personal experience to this conversation. Natalie has walked her own road of self discovery, learning what it means to shed expectations, release old identities, and reconnect with her authentic self. In this episode, Natalie shares her personal journey, the lessons she's learned along the way, and how the journey led her to her current work, including the release of her new workbooks designed to help others do the same inner work. So, Natalie, can you tell everybody a little bit about your background?
Sure, sure. So, I grew up in Jamaica. I moved to America when I was 17. And shortly thereafter, I went to Howard University. And this was sort of where the first mask started to become apparent.
Yeah.
I always grew up just knowing that I was going to be a doctor because, in Jamaica, you're smart, you're going to be a doctor. There's no conversation. That's what
Isn't
you
that so funny? Those cultural attachments, those cultural masks. That's a good way to put
Yes.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Culture. Way to
absolutely.
put it. Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a turning point, I think it was ninth grade, where I could choose if I wanted to pursue the sciences or the business path. And I loved business and history and, culture, loved thinking about people. But I went science because you're going to be a doctor. Like, I don't have a
Right.
choice there. Um, Barely scraped through that. And then went to Howard. Still, I'm going to be a doctor. Fine.
Hmm.
But I've been fortunate in that I have these events that sort of wake me out of that stupor and temporarily
Yeah.
remove the mask and have me actually plug in. And you'll see that as a recurring theme. So I had a trip to Johns Hopkins when I was at Howard and I was pre-med, and we saw a cadaver. And I think they did
Hmm.
this on purpose. I walked into the room and I saw a cadaver, and all I was thinking was there was no scientific thought in my head. I was like, this is somebody's grandpa, this is somebody's dad, and he's just
Oh,
out here. Da, da,
hmm.
da. I ran out the room crying, and that was the end of my medical career.
Wow. Wow. But you know what? How lucky that it was early enough, right?
Yes.
Where you weren't
Yes,
so far into it. So you're right. If that was on purpose, it was a smart move.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I knew I was gonna let my parents down, so I figured, okay, let me try to soften the blow. I'll go
Hmm.
to chemical engineering because it's close to the sciences, and I think they only want me to make money, right? That's why they want me to be a doctor. So this position will, at the time, it was the highest paid 4-year degree. That's how I
Yeah.
made the decision to go into chemical engineering, right?
I'm glad that you made the decision to do really easy stuff in your life.
Yes, because
Medical,
why?
chemical
Hard.
engineering. Man,
Why
just
won't
taking
they
the
do
easy
it?
route. Yeah, why bother doing the hard stuff?
No. And then I loved chemistry, but what I didn't realize was what I liked about chemistry was the creativity of chemistry,
Oh,
was the,
interesting.
putting different things together and seeing a result. So I did the chemical engineering, hated most of it other than the chemistry. But then now I'm at the end of the 4 years and I'm like, okay, now I probably guess I have to go work as a chemical engineer and make that money that I joined this, field for. I thought, the money was just going to walk into me somehow. Um,
Right.
did not realize what chemical engineers actually did in the real world.
Mm,
They work in manufacturing plants,
okay.
sometimes in very remote areas and in very dangerous areas. They're
Mhm.
dangerous plants. So I had
Yeah.
an internship, only one internship, at the end of my senior year, and it was at Occidental Chemical. I hope I'm not, well, I can say it.
Yeah, that's
They
all right.
made,
You're not
yeah,
saying anything bad.
yeah. I'm not saying anything bad about them.
No.
But they made chlorine.
Oh.
And the way you make chlorine is you have to split salt water. And
Mm,
yes, so it's HNCl, hydrogen and
okay.
chlorine, both of which have been weaponized in our history. Hydrogen bombs, liquid chlorine, mustard gas, right?
Yeah.
And we're splitting them and making
Wow.
chlorine.
Oh my gosh.
So there was,
Suddenly that cadaver seemed not so bad,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So one of my first projects was to map the line carrying liquid chlorine across the plant,
Wow.
and to like model it. And I did a model using Excel, of just where we were losing chlorine, because we were losing chlorine along the way. Because of course, chlorine, well, not of course, but chlorine is actually a gas at room temperature. So we had to keep it at a certain temperature in those pipes to get it to where we can store it and sell it. And that's how people make
Okay.
bleach and all that. So here I am, 20 something, following liquid chlorine mustard gas.
Mm,
One of the first things, this is another pivot point. One of the first things they said to me was, in our training, they're like, okay, we have different, hazmat suits, right?
mhm,
Usually the white ones, yeah, we're just doing maintenance. Yellow ones, you
mm,
might want to proceed with caution. Red, do not come out. Blue, we've
mm.
never had blue. We don't know what's going on with blue. It's like
Wow.
catastrophic. My 6th week, they had a blue suit event, which is a
Oh,
release. And I was like, okay, that's it. I can't do chemical engineering. But now I've
yeah.
invested 4 years of my life, and it's just like now I'm a scientist, right? That's the new
Right?
math. I've been doing this now for 5 years. I spent 3 years in school doing chemistry. Now I'm a scientist. I can't be anything but a scientist, right? So I have to figure this
Mhm,
out. So it's like I was still trying to fit into this round hole that this
mhm.
diamond shaped peg did not fit. Um,
Yeah.
so I went on to, and it was just getting progressively more difficult to wear this
Mm.
mask. It was getting heavier with every,
Oh,
layer
I'm
I tried to put
sure.
in it. Even though
Yeah.
I tried to shave the corners and,
Mhm,
maybe it's not medical, so I don't have the biology. I'll just do chemistry, right? Well, maybe it's not chemistry. I'll try something else. Let's try.
mhm.
We're not gonna make liquid chlorine. Let's make makeup. So
Okay. Yeah,
I started
yeah.
working for Procter and Gamble as a process engineer for Procter and Gamble. I was making makeup. It was a plant, but it was an air conditioned plant. I was
Okay,
inside.
okay. Yeah.
But it wasn't really chemical engineering. It was truly line factory working, and I was working on the press powder, so to press the makeup into the pan of and I don't even wear makeup, so
Yeah,
it was kind of
right.
not
Yeah,
fascinating
kind
to me.
of didn't no connection there, yeah.
Oh, people would be so,
Yeah.
"Oh, you work at CoverGirl?" And I'd be like, "Sure."
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
you wanna bring us these apples? Like, what? I don't care. So it again, something else happened. Again, going along with the flow, I was an engineer at the time, and at the time, if you wanted to get into management, you were kind of expected to do an MBA, right? As an engineer, because engineers
Yeah.
obviously. So I started an MBA program, and oh, it lit something in me, Linda. It woke me
Yeah.
up, and I was
Wow.
fascinated. The theory, the leadership theories, the motivational theory, Maslow. I was lit up. I was in every single class, locked in, like I've never been in school before, because obviously I've
Yeah.
been doing, sciences before.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, this is what we should have gone to school for? This to wake this up?" And so
Yeah.
I was so passionate, and then, okay, business is definitely it. I already know this is what I want
Mhm.
to do now. Then they asked us to choose a concentration, and it was HR.
Okay.
It was over. I was locked. That was it. I was like, "Okay, I'm an HR director.
You knew it. That was it.
That was
Yeah.
it. I found it, and it was just so much fortune. So many things that I did out of responsibility that ended
Yeah.
up, you know, allowing me to finally lift that mask off, right? It's okay.
Mm.
This is who I am. And this time I didn't care who thought what. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Because
be
you
an
found
HR.
your path. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought it would be easy. I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, they know I'm smart." But
Right.
people don't, when you kind of self-actualize, not a lot of
Mhm.
people will understand it.
That is true.
Not a lot of people will accept what you're doing, and they'll try
Mhm.
to talk you out of it. They'll tell you you're
Sure.
crazy. Um,
Yes.
and what I've learned over time is you have to sit with the crazy. You have to sit with
Mhm.
whatever they're thinking about you, if it means that you will be living your external or internal matchup.
I
Because if
like
they
that.
don't, you're constantly in turmoil, no matter what the outside looks like. That's
That's
why you
true.
see, sometimes you'll see people who, they're multimillionaires, they have all the fame, they have all the fortune, but they're drug addicted, they're depressed,
Yeah.
they die at, I don't wanna say the word, but, they're just not well.
Yeah.
And you're
No,
looking at
it's
them like,
true. We see it all the time.
"You have
Yeah.
everything. What is
Yes.
wrong
Yes.
with you?"
Yes. Absolutely.
The outside doesn't match the inside. And then,
Mhm.
they struggle with that, right? We go through life thinking, and I'm sorry, I might be going ahead of stuff, but we go through
You're
life
good.
thinking that somebody's gonna give us a passing grade for something, right? Like, okay,
Yes.
so I got the husband. That's an A.
Yeah.
I got I have the 2.5 kids. Point 5 is a dog for a baby. That's another thing. If I have a boy, girl, one of each gender,
Oh,
that's a
yeah, that's even better. That's right.
B
Yes,
plus,
yes, you hit the mother
right?
load there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
if I'm running the PTA, right, I'm heavily involved
Oh,
in,
yeah.
but the thing is, nobody's out here giving you A's, and nobody's out here
Mm-mm.
giving you B's for life. The only person that matters, the only one is you, and you're the only
So
one that
true.
you're failing at. You're the only one you're not
Yeah.
listening to. I even see it in my role as a product manager now, where, we sometimes, as product managers, we start doing what we think the customer
Mhm.
need before we start listening to the customer. Like, we'll hear one
Sure.
thing and we're like, "Oh, that's what they want. I get it."
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
working on it, and I'm gonna tell you how to fix your problem, you know?
Yes,
And
yes.
fix it in a way that is, one, not what I asked you for,
Mhm.
but the
Yep.
reality is that's a reflection of what we do with ourselves.
Mm.
We do these things, like, me, I'm gonna go get the chemical engineering degree. I'm gonna go,
Yeah.
you know, obsessed with, being married, having a child, and felt bad for not
Mhm.
doing those things, right? And,
Yeah.
felt bad for, a myriad of things. The whole
Mhm.
makeup thing was a problem for a minute. I was like, "Why am I not
Yeah.
that girl?" You
It right.
know? Why
Yes,
I
yeah.
am broken, something is broken in me, but there's nothing broken with me, that's just not my
Yeah.
path. That's not who I
Right.
am. Uh,
So true.
and I had to get the outside matching the inside. I'm sorry, I'm taking over, I don't wanna speak.
Oh my goodness, you are not taking over. This is your platform. And we want to
Yes.
hear about all of this. So no,
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
great. So Natalie, what do you think, like, what's the cost of wearing those masks? If you think about, like, I would imagine the emotional toll, but also like the mental, the
Yes.
physical, the spiritual, like
Yes.
there are all these things that are impacted. So talk a little bit about, like, what's the cost of wearing these masks?
The cost is that you're in a perpetual state of trying to figure out a problem that you're unaware of. Um,
Yeah.
so you look again, you just copy what you see other people doing. So I went through overeating, overspending,
Yeah.
depression. I've had, on anxiety medication, diagnosis for ADHD, late diagnosis, by the way.
That
So
happens a lot too,
it
right? Is the late diagnosis of ADHD.
the
Yeah, yeah,
ADHD did not help because that also, it's difficult for you to focus with ADHD. So
yeah.
whatever little focus you have is just to sustain life. So you don't
Mhm,
really have the time to do the reflective stuff to really think about, because you're just trying to figure out how to get to work on
mhm.
time and execute
Right.
accordingly. And then that is it for your function. Like you
Yeah,
got nothing left.
yeah.
So that didn't help with my plight, but I tried so many things. I mean,
Mhm.
I really believe I have tried everything. I mean,
Yeah,
other than like drugs and, anything like that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but there are those who do that. There's
There are,
people who
because it's like you're trying to fill that, you're trying to figure it out. It's
yeah,
like we see that all the time, that when we look across, what different people are going through at different times in their life. You're right. You're usually on a search for something. If it's filling a hole, if it's trying to figure something out, if it's to make us feel better because we feel bad and we don't know why. It's like you're
yeah.
right, all of those things, but we don't look at it through that lens, right? We
No.
just judge ourselves and others
It's
judge us along.
it was a
Yeah.
constant state of having to fix something and living up to an
Yeah.
ideal that was not mine to begin with.
Mhm.
Not realizing that I was the only person who could grade me. Nobody else
Yes.
knew the whole situation, and nobody could give me a grade on my life. I'm the only one who could
Yeah.
do that. But I
That's right.
lived it like, okay, Martha Stewart is gonna come and look at my house tomorrow. And then, Rihanna is gonna come check out my makeup kit, and,
Right, right.
like,
Yeah.
I lived my life like I was on some kind of stage and people were coming in and
Yes.
they're taking notes. I'm like, "Oh, you're deficient." And then
Uh-huh.
here's the worst part, right? I'm gonna take a breath on this one. The worst part is because you don't live up to these ideal, you feel that you are deserving of
Mm.
any kind of mistreatment that comes your way
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
obviously you're failing at life. Obviously you're
Yes.
broken. So, yeah,
Mhm.
that explains why this person treated you like that. And that's, you're just going to have to deal with it because you're broken. And until you get
Yeah.
fixed, you're going to continue to be treated poorly and not realizing all the time that, A, the people who are treating you poorly, you don't even like them hardly.
You don't
Like,
even really care what their opinion is.
yeah, much less care what they, it's like you don't want to be around them. And
Right,
they're
right,
like,
yeah. Here you are, all worried about what
all
they think.
worried
I
about
do it
it.
all the time. I worry about what strangers think about me. I'll worry sometimes more about what the stranger I don't care about thinks about me than I'm worried about my husband's opinion on
100%.
something. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but the stranger
Because
opinion
we live
matters to
our
me way
lives
more.
thinking that
Yes.
we're gonna get a grade, like that stranger is gonna parenting is the best
Oh, the
best
worst.
example,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes. I
We
agree.
live our lives saying, "Oh, they're gonna say I'm not a good mom." Who is they? And where
Yes.
where is this board of parenting that we need to go assess ourselves and
Yes.
find ourselves lacking and then somehow
Mhm.
what, they're gonna take your kid? No, they don't want them. If you don't want them, they don't want them.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Who else do you think wants him?
there's no board. There's no board. But
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
live our lives, and I don't know if it's a result of schooling, like we just got into the habit of
Mhm.
graded. I don't want to say it's that.
I have exciting news. The Her Resources podcast is opening sponsorships. If your brand supports women in HR and leadership, think talent, well being, learning. pay equity, coaching, productivity, or mission driven tech, this is your moment. Our listeners are decision makers and change makers who show up for real conversations and practical tools every week. We offer flexible options, pre roll or mid roll host reads, series sponsorships, and thought leadership integrations that highlight your story without the fluff. Ready to connect with a highly engaged audience and grow with us? Email contact@herresourcespodcast.com and put sponsorship in the subject line. I can't wait to collaborate.
But we just go through life and this achievement thing, the other thing for me, being the good daughter.
That's the
Being the good
worst.
daughter, being the good sister, I just always had this family was the worst, because it was kind of
I agree.
so much pressure to
hmm
live up to this, we have to be this family. Like I
Yeah.
spent so much time and effort and money trying to live up to some ideal of a family, having the
hmm
and seeing other people's families and thinking, oh, I want that, and then or maybe that if I do that then I'll be happy. And I'm like, no, just because you see that person doing that and they're happy doing that, it
Yeah.
does not mean that you do exactly the same thing and you're going to have the same result. You're not
That
that
is so
person.
true.
You're different
No.
humans altogether.
Yeah.
There's no that's why sometimes it rubs me the wrong way to hear people on social media talking about, if you want to get to XYZ, buy my
hmm
program, do this. And I'm not dissing any of these people because
Yes.
some good
No.
ideas,
Yeah.
but it's playing on that same emotion that I need some kind of
Yes.
external validation to tell me
Yeah.
that I'm okay, you know?
I agree. I feel
Yeah.
the same way about when, motivational speakers, because I can't relate with that story. Like, it didn't happen to me. My experiences were different. And so I think sometimes, and I don't think it comes from the motivational speaker expecting this, but it kind of comes from the people who choose to put those motivational speakers in front of you, that somehow if you listen to this person who went through whatever that experience was, that's going to be the thing that's going to light a fire in you and it's going to change everything. But if you can't relate emotionally to that experience, it doesn't have the same impact.
Um,
It doesn't take anything away from the person's experience, but that's not my lived experience, right?
you
So I
know,
can't make the same connection.
yeah, and it's just because it does resonate with you and you see it resonating with someone else. The whole point of you feeling less than, like somehow you're missing something,
Yeah.
like, okay, I just need to be more like that person. You just discount everything
hmm
that comes out of
Yes.
you because you're broken. So
It's
nothing
so
that's
true.
coming out of you makes sense. So
No, no,
you
and you
feel
feel like maybe are you a bad person, right? Like,
yes,
"Oh, I should be like, everybody else is crying, I guess I should be crying too," or
yes,
everybody else is, like, on their feet
performative.
cheering and I
Yeah,
should be too, and you're just kinda sitting there in that moment, and you then again, it's another time where we put on a mask and we're like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll put on the fakeness about it as well so that I can fit in and nobody is judging me on how I'm reacting to this."
100%, 100%. And
Yeah.
the real I think if I were to think of I don't think there was one defining moment. I think there are a few,
Mhm.
but the one major one was actually COVID for me.
Okay.
I was prior to then, you've met me, you talked to me.
Yeah.
Prior to
Yeah.
then, I thought of myself as this massive extrovert. Like,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm the social butterfly, I'm the party girl, I'm up for whatever, right? So I thought I was dreading COVID. I thought I was going to
Mm.
fall apart. I thought
Mhm.
that was gonna
Yeah.
be it. I'm not gonna have my people. The opposite happened. My life
Mm.
quieted. I was at peace. I was good. And I was
Isn't
like,
that crazy?
am I an introvert?
Right.
And I started to think, I think I'm pretty sure I'm an introvert.
Mm.
How does that work?
Yes.
And that was part of my exhaustion. That was part of my fatigue,
Mhm.
is that I was maintaining this facade of extroversion because
Yeah.
extroverts get the good grades.
That's right. That's right.
Extroverts were the ones that were,
They get the better
they get the
opportunities.
better
They have
opportunities.
the more friends. They're more liked. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Being a self-proclaimed introvert and haven't been one my whole life, I know exactly what you mean. I've often been jealous of the extrovert
Yes.
and thinking like, man, if I was more like that, I would get dot dot dot.
Yes. But I,
Mhm.
being also quite competitive, was like, okay, no, I'm not going to be jealous of the extrovert. I'm going to be the extrovert.
I'm going to be the extrovert. I like that.
I'm
Yeah.
going to take over and I'm going to show you how to be
Yes.
an extrovert.
Yeah.
But at great cost to myself, the cost, right? At what?
Mhm. Yes. At
I
what
was
cost?
exhausted.
Yeah.
I kept a whole pile of friends around me that, mm-mm.
Mhm.
Just to
Weren't
say
serving
that I
you.
had a bevy of friends, but,
Yes, yeah.
this was the other thing, had a ton of friends during COVID, before COVID. During
Uh-huh.
COVID, remember when we had to do our little circles?
Yes.
Nobody invited me to their circle.
Oh,
I was like,
see,
"What?"
it's amazing the things that all of a sudden pop up, right? That you see through a different lens
Yeah.
when you take the
No.
mask off.
Yep,
Yeah.
nobody invited me to circle. But then it wasn't that I don't think it was a mean thing, I just think people think
Yeah.
that somebody else has got her type of
Oh,
thinking.
yeah, or
She's
you probably have your
extraordinary.
own circle and you're probably like you're running that, and so
Right.
we can't invite Natalie to be a part of ours because she's probably already got 5 other circles she's running. So, yeah,
100%,
great
because
point, great point.
that's what I was showing you guys. That's what I'm showing
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
So, um, I got so at first, I'm not saying I got to this immediately with COVID. At first, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, nobody loves me, da, da, da." And
Mm,
then I thought about it, "Are you really miserable? Because I don't know, I don't feel so miserable." It's
right.
that's when it was kinda like external and internal started getting a little closer,
Yeah.
and it was just
Yeah.
like, "Hold up, I think I'm supposed to be miserable." I don't think I actually
Right.
am miserable. I think I'm supposed to be
Yes.
miserable, right?
I love that. Yeah.
So I was like, "Hold on, this is not why am I what is this performance thing? Like, what am I
Mhm.
doing?"
Mhm.
And then started peeling the onion back, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm actually okay." Had one of the best Christmases just with me and my son and my dad. Best
Oh,
Christmas, just the 3 of
nice.
us. Every other
Yeah.
Christmas, spent thousands of dollars and traveled all
Yes.
couldn't figure out which friend's house to go to or family's house to go to.
Mhm.
Just a horrible nightmare. Had the best Christmas, the quietest Christmas, cooked what I wanted,
That's
didn't
so
get dressed up,
nice.
and I was fine.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
realized I don't need 3,000 people around me
Right.
to
Right.
be
Yeah.
good, even though that's what the extroverts tell you you need. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Some of us don't
Yeah.
need that. Some of
I
us
think
do.
so too. Some
Some
of
of
us
us
do,
do.
and that's okay. And I think, and I think that's what we're saying here too is that it's a period of self-discovery. It's figuring out who you are, what makes you comfortable, and being able to live in that space, in taking away from feeling like you got to be something for someone else. But on the other side, I'm not judging anybody else. I
No,
love watching how other people do thrive in those environments. Like I can sit back and smile and enjoy watching it, but I don't have to be a
I
party
don't have
to
to be
it.
a part of it. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then
No, I love that.
yeah, and the other thing was, and I was a champion flaker. That was my other clue that I'm an introvert, right? Because I would read about introverts doing this, and I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
I do that. What does that mean?"
Uh-huh. Yep.
Because my friends are like, "Okay, we're never inviting you anywhere again because you're always, 'I'm so tired.'" And I'm
Yes.
like, "Well,
Yes. Yes.
it can only
Yeah.
take so much." I love
Yeah.
people, and the thing is, but this is something that someone said to me. Both can be true, right?
They can. That
We
is so
tend
true.
to do things that, if you're this, you're that, it's all black and white, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
that way ever. It can be black and white, but there's such a thing as stripes, right?
That's right.
You
That's
like,
right. I totally
I
agree.
can absolutely love people, which I do.
Yep.
I have a passion
Mm-hmm.
for people and be very service oriented. Love to, participate in like any sort
Yeah.
of community teamwork event.
Mm-hmm.
You know us, we talk about this stuff all the time. But
Yeah.
at the same time, want my own space and my own, and
Yes.
need that. And that doesn't mean that I am
Absolutely.
anti-people or antisocial, but those are the
No,
labels they give to people who,
it is. Yeah.
and so I don't wanna be antisocial. I don't wanna be,
Right.
lonely or, be
Mhm.
lonely or, any of the labels that they put on people who just prefer
Or
to be
get
themselves.
left out of opportunities either, right? Because I know
Yes.
that was something even for myself I had to kind of reconcile a little bit because I am very introverted and didn't have I had to go and decompress after something. So if
Yes.
we were at an event or something and I had to be on during all of that, then after that I really needed to. So I didn't do the after dinner or those types of
Yes.
events. But what happened with that is then I got labeled as being, oh, Linda's antisocial, she
Yes.
doesn't really like people. And to your point, none of that was true at all. It's just
No.
I needed to decompress. So then you find yourself forcing yourself into those situations where now you're going and it's just even more draining on yourself. But you feel like, oh, well, if I don't go, then I'm not going to get the promotion. I'm not going to get the other opportunities. I'm going to be talked about behind my back or whatever silly thing it
Yeah.
is that goes through your head. So you force yourself into
Yep.
those situations. Yeah.
And yeah, 100%, and I did it to the point where I had convinced myself I liked it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
like, "No,
yes.
I
Yeah.
like it." I'm not I mean,
Yeah.
we used to have to go to connections and people used to treat it like a privilege, and I was like, I used to dread it every time because
Yeah.
you had to be on for 15 hours a day
It's a
because
constant.
and for
Yes.
someone like
Yeah.
me, it was very difficult. I went to Vegas 3 years in a row and never saw Vegas because the anytime I had free, I
Yeah.
had to use it to recover,
Yes. Go
from
and decompress, spend a
yeah,
little time, quiet time. Yeah. Absolutely.
100%. And
Yeah.
then, another kind of turning point for me was the Let Them theory, the Let Them book. You heard
Yes.
of
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I got it was so eye-opening for me because, it was the first time I was like, "Wait a minute, it's okay if you don't like me. It's okay if you don't
Yes.
want me because you think I'm whatever.
Yes.
You're allowed to think about me any way you want. You can make
That's right.
me
You have the right to have your opinions. Absolutely.
I
Yep.
I and because the reality for everybody is you can't change that person's opinion of
Mm-mm.
you.
You can't. No.
I hear people all the time, they're trying to explain themselves, like, they're telling you a story
Yes.
about a situation, and they're trying to get you on their side, it's almost like a debate, and
Mhm.
they're trying to bring up
Yes.
point after point after point as to why I'm right or wrong and the other way,
Yeah.
and the reality is, you could be right, you could be wrong, it doesn't matter. It
So
really
true.
doesn't.
No,
Are you comfortable in that situation? If the answer is no, remove yourself from that situation, and
that's
that's the end of
right.
it. Leave that person
Yes.
whatever impression they have, leave that person with them. Because the first thing is you have no idea what the real impression is. They're showing
That
you
is
their
true.
mask,
That's right.
right?
They've got their mask on.
They're
Exactly. Such a
performing for
great
you.
point. Yes.
You have no
Mhm.
idea what their real feeling is behind that.
Mm-mm.
So you're
No.
trying to change their mask mind, and the mask is not who they truly are. So that's
Yes.
why it's a absolutely pointless exercise. You literally
I
just have
totally
to
agree.
Are you ready to take your podcast to the next level? Let LJM Productions help you sound your best. We specialize in podcast editing, production, audio restoration, and mixing, ensuring every episode is polished, professional, and ready to wow your audience. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned podcaster, we'll handle the technical details so you can focus on sharing your voice. Partner with LJM Productions today and hear the difference.
yeah, you just have to go through it and trust your emotions and your feelings,
And
right?
and I think maybe that's what it is, what you were talking about too, is the why do we and maybe it's even more our generation than the
Yes.
generations that come behind us, is nobody taught us how to deal with our emotions at
No.
all, or even to identify what that emotion is. So, like,
Or even to
am I
experience.
feeling Oh my goodness, so
Don't cry
true.
or aggressively
Yes,
cry about
yes. Oh,
it,
don't
right?
cry. Yes, exactly. I mean, just those really ridiculous statements that were made to us as children that told us to stifle any of those emotions and feelings, and because they weren't important and they weren't relevant. So then you didn't learn how to
Process.
process any of that or how to even experience it. And so I mean, like, I remember even trying to figure out, like, what does joy actually mean? What is it? What does it mean to be joyful? And even things like gratitude and happiness. And it's like, and then sadness. What is sadness? Because a lot of times sadness got turned into anger because
Yes,
you didn't know that it was sadness. And so it just made you angry. And so you didn't know how to deal with that either. But I think a lot of it is that we really weren't taught
we're taught.
on how to deal with emotions and what emotions really were.
Yeah, we weren't taught, and then we weren't shown a lot of affection outside of
No,
achievement. So,
that is so true.
yeah,
Yes.
so
Yeah. Yes.
we associated, love with achievement. So, the
Yes.
only time sometimes we get attention is if we were getting, an A, or if we
Yeah.
were winning at something, or if we da da, then we would be showered with the attention, then we would be the
Yes.
prized child, right?
Hmm.
So then we
Absolutely.
equating achieving with loving,
Yes.
and
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
that's because
Yeah.
it wasn't freely given to us.
It
It
wasn't really given to
wasn't
us, it was that
independent
whole
of our
children's
parents.
were meant to be seen and not heard, and just kind of that, and it wasn't that our parents didn't love and care about us, it was just a whole different generational perspective and view on child rearing, and you're right, so much of it was, geared around achievements and what you did,
Yes.
and were you the good kid? Were you the quiet one? Were you well behaved? Did you have manners? So if you showed that side of you, maybe you were that crazy extroverted kid,
Mhm.
but if you behaved in that manner, that you may very well be like sitting in a corner or getting punished for behaving that way because that was not acceptable
Yeah.
to your parents or the
Yeah.
situation or
Yeah,
whatever.
and
So
yeah, and it sometimes it would pit because you never had all the kids in the family with the same level of achievement, right? So now you're pitting the kids
every
against each
time,
other
yes,
because now,
yes,
and that's why there's this sibling stuff with a lot of people my age. Even to this day, there's
oh yeah,
sibling issues
yes,
because
there is.
there was only so much love to go around, and the one that was
That's right.
hardest, or
Uh huh.
the prettiest, or
Yes,
got the majority of the love because the
so
parent would
true.
get, "Oh, your daughter's so stunning. She should be a movie star."
Yes, yep,
Or
yep,
they'd
yep,
hear,
yep.
"She's so smart, da 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 da," or, "He's
Yeah,
so athletic," and then the one that's not athletic and not smart, got
yeah,
nothing.
that's
It's
so true.
that 9 times out of 10 is that one kid that's acting out because they're not getting it.
Yeah. No,
They're
it's
not
true.
getting the, "Oh, you're so smart," and they're not getting the, "Oh, you're so athletic." They're getting nothing,
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
they're not. No validation at all,
So then
which
they
again kind
become.
of, yeah, goes back to where do they go find that, in whether it's an unhealthy or sometimes it's just separation.
Yeah,
There's a lot of different ways that people cope with
with
that,
that. Mhm.
but you're absolutely right. I totally agree with you. It's
Yeah,
really interesting, when you really start to kind of take a look, and I do agree with you, as silly as it is, that let them theory, just the idea of saying it to yourself, let them, is very freeing
oh my
to be
god,
able to go, hey, you know what? I can't control what they think about me or how they feel in this situation, and I can't change that. So let them feel the way that they feel, and I'm going to let myself feel the way that I feel, and that's okay.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where my thought of, "Who am I doing this for? Who's grading
Yeah.
me?"
Yes. Oh my
This is where
goodness.
that
Such
came
a great
from,
point.
was that
Yes.
I read the book, I do a lot of, like I said, I've done anything you can think of self-helpy wise, I have.
Right.
Any planner if you need advice on any planner out there, I got you.
You got
But,
it. Yep.
I got you. Any planner you want. I will tell you the rundown. I have it on my shelf. Anyway, but, the let them after I read the book, that's what came to me, was that who am I performing? Who is
Yeah.
living this who am I, expecting this house to be spotless for? Which it's not, by the
Right.
way.
Right. Yeah.
Who am I expecting to lose weight for? Who am I doing this for?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Nobody ever said you had to be a certain size to do whatever, because I see people of this size doing
Right.
everything, right? Nobody
Yes.
ever said you had to look a certain way to get,
Mhm.
because what's the guy's name? What's that guy's name with the big clock? I don't remember his name, this rapper. Very unattractive.
Oh, yeah, I know who
Um,
you're talking about, but I can't think of what
yes,
his name
you know who I'm
is.
talking about. We'll figure it
Yes.
out in that. But anyway, my point is, it's not you being attractive that gets. I've seen
Mm-mm.
very, very attractive Jennifer Lopez. We were just talking about Jennifer Lopez, right?
Yeah.
God bless
Yeah.
her. but she's been married 8 times, right?
Yes. Yes.
Married or engaged probably even more than 8 times, right? And it's
Yes.
kinda and she
Absolutely.
just and she's stunning. She's got the body, she's got the this,
She
she's got
looks
the
like she's
money,
got it all, right?
talent,
Yeah.
she's got
Yeah.
everything. And then but the relationship thing is not working,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
but you're doing all of that to get
Mhm.
the man. You're, the
Yes.
some mutilating your body in some cases to get the
Yeah.
man. Like, this whole BBL culture, and I'm like, if you talk
Mhm.
to any man out there, they don't like what it looks like. But
Yeah.
women in our heads, we see that and we're like,
Yep.
"Okay, we have to do that to get the man." But
Yep.
I'm like,
I gotta look that way. Yep. I
"But
gotta act
they but
that way.
look."
I gotta sound
Yeah,
that
look
way.
at the
Yeah.
person you're trying to emulate. Do they have the man?
Yes.
Do they have the man that you want? Kim K,
Right.
Kanye, let's talk about it. I don't want Kanye.
Uh-huh.
That's not
Yeah.
who I want. But you wanna
Right.
look like Kim K. Why?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of we just do and this is a very recent thought I've had, it's lazy decision making.
I like
It's
that.
it's
Yeah.
lazy decision making. It's not
Yeah.
sitting with it and evaluating it against who you truly are,
Yeah.
and taking a beat and saying, "Yeah, why would I wanna look like that now? Who am I
Right.
gonna attract if I look like that?
Yeah. That's a
No,
good point.
I don't
Yeah.
wanna
No.
attract them people to me. I don't wanna
Right.
no. I
Yeah.
don't wanna
Yeah.
I don't wanna be wearing less than nothing." Like, and
Right.
if
Yeah,
your body has
exactly.
those
Yes.
dimensions, there's not
Yes.
regular clothes that can fit you. So, I'm not
Right.
dissing anybody who does that, right? But
No, no, no. Again, let them do what they
right,
wanna do, right? I'm just saying,
100%, but
why are you doing it? Maybe it's
why are
that
you doing it?
self-reflection to make sure that the reason why you're doing that is really for you and it's
And
what's
not
important to
because
you, not because of society or a man or a
societal
woman or
pressure.
whatever it is. Yep,
Correct.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
what I see a lot of even in my own self is that, we do things because you're
Yep.
supposed to get married at 30. You're supposed to have a kid at that.
Right. Yes.
Supposed to
Yeah.
check these boxes, so at the end of it, somebody says, "Good job."
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Where you
Yeah.
get disappointed and when you get let down is when you do it and there's
Yeah.
nobody saying good job.
That
The
is so
first
true.
time that
Yeah.
happened to me, I had, it's my doctorate. It's basically a program to promote, terminal degrees among minorities because at the time, I think it was only 2% of, all the PhDs were Black people.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
me, I love a challenge, right? So, I jumped in. That part is true. That one's always
That
been
part
me.
is you. That is who
That
you are.
always
Yes.
been me.
Yes.
I was the kid doing the 5,000-piece puzzle. I just love a challenge. So, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
bet 2%? I got you. I'll be
There
2.00051."
you go. That's right.
So, I started on the journey to get my doctorate, and, it took me 8 years, had a kid in the middle of it, did it,
Yeah.
but I did it.
Yeah.
When I got the confirmation that I got it,
Mhm.
that I was gonna be Dr. Natalie Hines, I was I had that immediate sense of euphoria, but then I remember it lasted maybe 30 seconds.
Okay.
And it's been now I got my doctorate in 2011, never really got it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kinda like I spent 8 years, thousands of dollars, got this thing,
Mhm.
and for a 30-second, "Yeah, I did it,"
Yeah. Yeah.
and then
No.
never
And
got
then
it back.
nothing.
Never got it
Yeah.
back. But it was something I thought I needed. It was something I thought
Yeah.
I had to have,
Right.
to make my mom, I guess, happy that after letting her down and not being a doctor like she wanted. Now I'm a doctor. Maybe
Right.
I'm not seeing cadavers, but I'm a doctor mom,
That's
you know?
right. I did it. I did what
Yeah.
you well, and it's funny that you say that too because the parental side of that,
No.
that sticks with us heavy and hard. And it is even as a, almost 60-year-old woman, it's still my parents, they're not here anymore, but I still think about, well, what would my mom think about this? Would
Oh, of
my mom be
course.
proud of this?
Of
I mean,
course.
it's so
Yeah,
silly, but I
yeah.
do. It's amazing the power that that has over us.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
but it's it's not bad when the parent and you are sort of aligned personality-wise and
Yes,
values-wise,
yes.
but when you're complete polar opposites, like my mom and I,
Yes, makes it very
it
hard.
makes it very,
Yeah.
very hard. Like, she
Oh, I
was
totally
what I
agree.
would call a diva. Like, my mom was the makeup
Okay.
queen and the nails and the this and the that. I
Yeah.
was not that girl, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
frustrated her to no end.
Oh,
Therefore, it
sure.
frustrated me to no end that I was not that girl.
Yep,
But I
absolutely.
had to realize that, we can be different, right? We
Yes,
can be
and
completely
still
different and
coexist.
still
Yeah.
coexist and still love ourselves. Like, I'm not gonna be the daughter
Yes.
you want ever, ever gonna be the
Yep.
she's passed along
Yeah,
now, but I'm not gonna ever be the daughter you want. But
yeah.
I had to be able to say that, and I promise you, even maybe 5 years ago, I couldn't say it. Even though my mom,
Mhm.
towards the end of her life, she had dementia and all that. But even 5 years ago, I couldn't say, "I can't be the daughter you want," and still be
Yeah.
happy with myself and not have that cause me pain.
Mhm,
'Cause
mhm, mhm.
saying I can't be the daughter you want
Yes.
is that in my mind is like, I'm not a daughter that a mother could love, you know?
Yes, right,
Because
there's all kinds of
I'm
baggage that
not
comes with
deserving of
that,
even
yeah.
my mother's love because I'm so shattered and so broken and so
Right.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
But now I can say that and be okay with it. I will never be the daughter you wanted, and it's
Yes.
okay because 'cause I'm a pretty cool daughter. I make
That's
you
right. Absolute that's right.
I
That's
make
right.
you
Focus
laugh,
in on the
yes.
qualities I bring to the table. Absolutely.
I make
No,
you
I
laugh,
totally
I'm
agree.
kind, I'm sweet,
Yes.
I'm nurturing,
Yeah.
I'm a great mom. By
Yeah.
some miracle, I'm a great mom. That's I
Not by any miracle at all, just because you're just
Ugh.
being you.
Well, I haven't fully grown up yet, so it has to be a miracle a child raising a child, yes? No? No?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe just a yeah, give me that, give me that, give me that.
That's right, just a little
But
bit,
yeah,
that's it.
but I mean
Hey everyone, we're the Her Resources podcast, where women share real stories, real lessons, and the resources that help them succeed. We're always looking for inspiring women, business leaders, creatives, educators, and changemakers who want to share their journey and empower others. If that sounds like you, we'd love to hear your story. Reach out to us at contact@herresourcespodcast.com and let's start the conversation.
that's kind of been my journey, and I was evolving. When we first spoke, I was
Yeah,
in the midst of that and trying to figure things out.
yeah.
I had, it was actually beginning of January 2025 when this whole thing started with the values workbok. I
Mhm.
brought my new planner because, nothing makes me happier than a brand new planner with blank pages, nothing.
Right.
And,
Yes.
of course, a lot of these planners, the first thing they ask you for is your values. And then
Yes.
from your values, we're gonna come up with a vision and then a mission statement and then da, da, da.
Mhm.
All the other stuff I'm good with, right? Vision. And I was like, I was stuck on what I valued.
Oh,
And I was like,
yeah.
why am I stuck on what's valuable to me? This is weird.
Right.
And
Yeah. You'd
I
think that would be the easy thing, right?
yes, yeah,
Values should be the easy, but they never are.
no. And I always thought that uh, every time I got confronted with that question, because again,
Mhm.
I'm obsessive planner, so I always have
Yeah.
planners. Every
Yeah.
time I got confronted with that question, what are your core values?
Mhm.
I I had nothing. And then,
Mhm.
because I had nothing, I would just kind of make up stuff. And then the
Yeah.
rest would
Yeah.
flow from there, and I would never really execute against the plan, right? I would
Yeah. Yep.
come up with the plan, and almost like the act of writing it down was enough.
Mhm.
I'd done it in
Mhm.
my head somehow, um,
Yeah.
but I never really understood what my values were.
Yeah.
So here we are, January 2025. I've been let them'd. I've I'm now in a season of being laid off.
Yeah.
I've been laid off from the job I'd been with for 13 years and how I define myself
Right.
in years. No
Yeah.
resentment whatsoever towards the job, obviously, because I went back.
Right.
But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but just in this season of, I have a blank slate. I can now
Yeah.
that I'm
Kinda
free.
change,
Yeah.
transition. Yeah. No
When you
no no expectations.
Here
Yeah.
here's yeah. Here's something that, folks may not understand fully, is, like,
Mhm.
I didn't understand it fully because I thought something was wrong. But when you
Mm.
do the work on yourself, there
Mhm.
is a destination. You do
Yeah.
arrive at this space of
Mhm.
self-actualization and realization, and it is incredibly uncomfortable
Yeah.
because you have now been empowered to
Mm.
drive your life. This life that has been everybody else's life up until this point,
Yep.
and you never had to worry about it. Now,
Yep.
anybody who's been a leader know,
Mhm.
like, being in that driver's seat, it's no joke, right?
Yeah.
But
No, so
now
true.
now you're in the most important driver's seat of ever,
Yeah.
your own
Your
life,
own. Yes,
right?
your own life. Yes.
And you're like, "Wait a minute. Okay, so I
Mhm.
don't have to listen to society. We've gotten rid of that problem. I don't have to listen to my parents, gotten rid of that.
Yeah.
I'm not pressured by anything at all.
Yep.
So
Now
what
what do I
do I
do?
do?" And
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
why I was staring at a blank page with my core values because I was like, I don't know what to do now. Because now I'm
Yeah.
not being told what to do. Now I
Right.
know better than to just take what you tell me to do.
Mhm.
Well, what do I do?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Um, so that's what started the journey of Design Her. And I said,
Yes.
okay, I'm going to figure out who I want to be. I'm going to,
Mhm.
and I started thinking where it started from actually, and I might actually go back to this, might revisit this at some point. But I started thinking of women that I admired.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I started thinking about women I admired, and I started thinking about why I admired them. Right. So
Mm.
for example, these 2 are I'm gonna use these 2 because they're polar opposites, and people are gonna be like, "Are you"
Mhm.
but one is Michelle Obama, not for the reasons
Okay.
people think,
Right.
but I found her to be very graceful. And
Mm.
I really value like, I this came out of this exercise was I didn't think about this, but I've always been, very drawn to that classic 1950s elegance,
Mm.
so that,
Uh-huh.
like, the people who kinda portray that, like, Carolyn Onassis, like the
Okay.
pearls and
Yes. Yeah.
I just
Yep.
really am very attracted to very elegant women, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay, so that's something I value." And then the
Yep.
other one is Cardi B, right?
Okay. Yep. You're
Because
right. Polar
she is
opposites.
just
Yeah.
yeah, polar opposites, but what I value about Cardi is just her incredibly bold authenticity, like, she was basically doing her thing, like,
Yes.
regardless
Yeah.
of
Yep. Yep. Didn't matter.
society
Yep.
pressure,
Mhm.
all the other stuff, and she was doing it. Now there's a lot I don't agree with Cardi, and there's a lot I don't agree with Michelle, but
Sure.
those
Yeah.
2 things kinda clued me into I like that boldness, right? I
Yeah.
like that, like, real boldness,
I
not
love
the
that
fake stuff.
exercise, Natalie, kind of
Yes.
because it helps, like, think about how do you define your values, and by taking that and saying, who are these people that I admire for different reasons, and then pulling out, like, what is it about what a great way to do that because, man,
Yeah,
it is hard to figure
it
out
is
what your values
hard.
are, so,
It's so
yeah,
hard.
I
So
love that
that
exercise.
that's actually where I started, and then because I was gonna do a planner, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Wait a minute, I don't know if I wanna do a full planner. I wanna start
Yeah.
with these workbooks and do the discovery," and so I really
Mhm.
put some work, and I think I might revisit the think about the women that you like. I might revisit that again.
Yeah.
The other part of it, because I was going to do it for a full year, think of 6 women you don't like,
Ooh, I like that too.
that
Yeah.
you cannot stomach.
Mhm.
And, I'm not gonna name names, but there are some people that I couldn't
Yeah, yeah, and what was it that you didn't like about them, and why didn't you like that?
that's the
Yes.
value. That's the core
Yeah,
value.
I
When
like
I
that.
did that exercise, it was how, authenticity rose up for me
Mm,
as a value.
mhm.
I like people who are who they are, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
I may not like what you're presenting Cardi, right? There's things
Right,
that Cardi does
yes.
that I'm like, "Girl, stop," but she's
Oh, for
doing
sure.
it because she likes it. She
Yes,
wants to be that
yes.
person. She wants
Yeah,
to come off that way, and she's fully plugged in and aware, external and internal are locked in, right?
yeah.
She's not being performative. She's not you can tell
Right, it's not fake for the
without
camera
the
type of
money,
thing, yep.
this is who Cardi's
Yeah.
gonna be, you know?
Right,
So
yeah, yeah.
I loved but then, the authenticity didn't come through Cardi. Cardi I got from the boldness from her, but then authenticity came from somebody I thought was being fake,
Yeah,
like,
oh,
that I didn't
yeah,
like. It was just completely just not a good person.
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't like fake people at all. I don't like dishonesty. That's another one that came
Mhm.
through because that's somebody
Yeah.
I knew that was incredibly
Yeah.
dishonest. So
Yeah.
now slowly I'm starting to see all these things that are important to me, right?
Right.
I have such a spirit of adventure, and I again just thinking about things that I love, that I when I say love
Yeah.
and understanding what love feels in my body.
Yes. Yes.
Just understanding when you're happy, what that feels like in your body. Um and kind of tying back your feelings. So and I learned these little principles and I just keep them with me and they pop up every now and then. I understand now why people used to memorize Bible verses because it
Yeah.
helps, right?
Yeah.
So I had read somewhere that emotions are education, not direction, right? So
I
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you feel something, you reflect on it and you don't spot. What I used to do was, oh, I feel sad. And then I'd be like
Mhm.
spiraling into the
Yes.
sadness and
Yeah.
continue. But now I approach my sadness with curiosity and I say, okay, what happened today that caused this?
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
which value is being violated right now?
Ooh, I like that.
Wh-
Yeah.
what hurt me?
Right.
And how do I address this? Because we're not letting that live, right? Because
Right. Yes.
we're in the season of all happy. We're not in the
Yes.
season
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
tolerating anything.
Right.
And that's really helped me even just get to such a place of peace, Linda. You
Mm.
see, I'm here.
Yes. I
I'm
do, and
such
there's this
peace.
yeah, and I just yeah, you find your center, right? That's kind of when I think about what you've done is you've found your center in looking at all of this, and I think too, what's hard for all of us to do sometimes is recognizing, 'cause and I know, I struggle with this all the time, is that it's just a moment. It's a moment in time.
Mhm.
I'm sad because of this, but it doesn't mean that that has to now consume me and it's
Or
gotta
define you.
take over or define me. Yes, exactly. Or if I'm angry, what am I really angry at? Was it the action? Was it like, what is it that's driving that? And I think when you can take that moment to pause and find that center and kind of evaluate what it is that's really driving it, makes such a big difference. But we don't do that for ourselves. We don't allow ourselves that kind of grace at all. So.
No, no, and it takes work to get there, though. I mean,
Oh my goodness, and what you said too was so powerful, Natalie, was that you can have all the self-help books in the world, you can read them all, you can have them on your shelf, but if you're not willing to do the
the work.
work, that's the hard part, and it is much easier, and I think what was interesting about what you had said as well is you found yourself all of a sudden as a clean slate because
Mhm.
mom and dad aren't there to tell you what to do anymore, you're not trying to present for them, your job's not telling you what to do anymore. Like all of these things, it's just you and yourself. What are you going to do with it? And that's sometimes is a really scary place to find yourself, right? Because now you do have to do the work if you want to figure out what your
And
path is.
And believe it or not, that's why a lot of times people revert to bad situations. Like,
Yes, yes.
when you question why, why'd you left him and you're going back to him,
Right.
not because, there's any great draw there or not because the person's not intelligent or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
when they're finally free and
Yep. They don't
after
know what to do.
especially a long time, they have no idea what to do. They have no
That
idea
is
who
so
they
true.
are. They have no idea what their
Yeah.
direction is. And it's almost easier to go
Yeah.
back into what you're familiar with, right? Because
Yeah.
over time, you've built tolerances. You know how to dodge the blows. You know how to do what you need
Right.
to keep safe
Yes.
there, right?
Yeah.
But the unknown, the uncertainty of that clean slate, it can be unnerving. But if you're prepared for it, if you know that you're
Yes.
going to have a clean slate and you know you're
Yeah.
going to be unnerved and it's not going to be pleasant for whatever time period you need, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
it's all you need to move
Yeah.
forward, right? It's just
No.
awareness. It's really just about awareness.
Absolutely. No, I love it.
Yeah.
Natalie, this has been such an amazing conversation. I am
Thank
so
you.
glad that you found this spot in your life and now
Yes.
you were willing to come and talk about it because our listeners are going to take so much away from this conversation. I
Oh
want
my
to
God.
ask you, what is one truth you wish that you'd have known sooner? Like, what's that one thing that you're like, man, I wish I would have known that sooner?
Um, that I'm right.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm right.
No.
I'm 100% right. I don't need you to tell
Yeah.
me I'm wrong or right, or I don't need to justify how I feel about a situation.
That's a
I'm
good
right.
one. That
Yeah.
really is. That is a really good one.
Mhm.
What is one question that you want listeners to sit with?
Who do I want to be for me? Who would make me? Who would I show up as? Because a
Yeah.
lot of times we answer the question of who do I want to be in my life, and we answer it
Yeah.
from a place of service. We answer
I
from a
like
place
that.
of yeah. If we're not doing it for anybody else, right? If we're not
Mhm.
doing it for the community, the world, of making the world a better place, because people tend to those are the easy answers. If
Yeah.
we're not doing it for anybody else but you, who do you want to show up as for you?
I
Like,
like that.
who do you
That's
wanna
a
show
good one.
who's gonna make you happy when you look in the mirror and be like, "Wow, you did that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. That
great."
is a really good one. No,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yep, that's a good one. Well, this conversation with Dr. Natalie
Drop
Hines
to
is
Natalie Hines.
Dr. Natalie Hines. You earned it. You wear it.
All day, all day.
I'd have it plastered all across my
Oh my
chest. So,
gosh. I have
Dr. Linda
friends who
Misegadis.
tease me with it because I don't like it so much, but I have
Yeah.
friends who tease me with it, and I'm
Oh,
like, "You
I'll
know
bet.
what? I'm owning it. I worked hard for that. I
You work for
whatever
that. You
the
deserve that.
motivation, I
That's
loved it."
right. I know. I love it too. Well, this conversation is such a powerful reminder that authenticity isn't something we find overnight, and
Right.
it's something that we choose again and again. So even once you think you found your authenticity, it's an ever evolving because
The
we as
work never
people are
stops.
constantly changing, right? And even though taking the mask off can feel really uncomfortable and even scary, as Natalie shared, it can also be the most freeing decision we ever make. So, if today's episode resonated with you, I encourage you to check out Natalie's work, and I'm going to put her website link in the show notes and her workbooks because they are a beautiful resource for anyone who's ready to begin or deepen their own journey of self
Yes.
discovery. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners for being a part of the Her Resources community. And if you enjoyed this, please share it with someone who might need this message. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a conversation with us. But until next time, keep showing up as you. Thanks, Natalie. You've been listening to the Her Resources podcast, where women's voices, leadership, and growth take center stage. As your host, I'm here to remind you that the journey isn't always easy, but it is always worth it. Every step you take to build confidence, create impact, or use your voice is part of a much bigger story. It's the one that inspires others to do the same. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love it if you subscribed, left a review, or shared it with another woman who's ready to step into her power. And as always, thank you for being a part of this community. Together, we're not just changing conversations, we're changing the future.